Shalom. Shalom to the elect of YAHAWAH, and Shalom to the other men, women, and children of our nation who YAHAWASHI is going to have mercy upon them. Shalom to all of you. Shema YAHAWAH, YAHAWAH, NAWA, YAHAWAH, BARAK YAHAWAH, BARAK YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QaDash, Halalyam, NAWA, NAWA, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QaDash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of Great Millstone, and much due respect to the sincere Aki and all labor and works, and shalom to you believers, to the Aki and Wa'akwa, which be brothers and few amount of sincere sisters who do subscribe to this truth. Our RAWCHAA today's lesson is edifying to the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI. I'm your brother Malkia, representing warriors for YAHAWASHI in Pasadena, Texas camp. Our RAWCHAA today's lesson is edifying. All right. So let me get this together. All right. The water. All right. So I'm gonna play this clip from a brother's page about the uproars in France. Update of it. All right. I'm gonna get that very quick. All right. Didn't know. All right, it's a lot here. All right. All right, so you saw that in the video, man. All right, seditions among men, upwards of the people, Egyptians against the Egyptians. Even we just say people within the same nation are going against each other, right? All right, so let's jump right into it, man. Second Ezra is chapter 9, 1 through 4. Bear with me, folks. Something that should act slow shit, man. Fuck. You know what, man? I'm just gonna read it from the book, man. This shit taking too fucking long. I'm just trying to get straight to the damn point of this, man. Alright. I'll just read from the book instead, man. Alright, second, that is chapter 9, verses 1 through 4, KJV. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in yourself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, the prophecies, right, that you're using to measure the time diligently in itself, right? And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest, YAHAWASHI, will begin to visit or judge the world which he made. So there's many signs that's coming to pass that's letting us know through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI that this is a time that YAHAWASHI is about to get ready to kill a lot of people. All right, he's about to judge his creations, the world that he made, and the inhabitants of it, right? The people of the world, right? Verse 3 and 4. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou understand that the Most High YAHAWASHI spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So with many of the signs that's coming to pass. Shalom, shalom, YAHAWASHI, barakatham. So with the many signs that's coming to pass, that's letting the prophets, the men who has that position as a watchman upon the house of Yahshua, we're going to keep looking at the signs that's coming to pass and use it as like a measuring stick. So he and the others like him, others like that brother who has that same position, can blow the trumpet and warn the people to give them an idea of where we're at in prophecies. How close are we on to the second coming of YAHAWASHI Mashiach, the true Messiah? How close we are to the Qur'an being mandatory. Where a rough estimate of where we're at in this movie of YAHAWASHI. All right, and the two of the signs in this very context that's coming to pass greatly is what? Earthquakes, like so-called natural disasters, also goes into commotions, and we're also seeing uproars of the people in the world. An example in France, right? A public expression, right? A public expression of protest or outrage, commotion, ruckus, ruckus and fuss. All right. So this is the many signs that's coming to pass that's letting us know that this is the very time, the very age, the very life that YAHAWASHI is about to judge a lot of people. He's about to kill a lot of people. 2/3 of our nation, and of course the other nations are going to get jacked up too. The Gamayam, the heathens, the other nations, and of course the Adamam, the Edomites, the so-called white people. All right. The point I want to get out of it was uproars. Okay, uproars of the people. I'm gonna get that in GMT right quick. He answered, "Consider all these things very carefully. When you see that some of the signs or the prophecies I have told you about have appeared, you will know that the time has come when Yahawah Bashim Yahushai will begin to bring judgment on the world he has created. There will be earthquakes, right? So-called natural disasters, also commotions of the people, right? National rebellions, right? Rebellions, pretty much sedition among men, right? But when we get that next? International interviews, right? Let's go into that word interview right quick so you can get an idea of it. Let me share the screen right quick with y'all. All right. So international interview, right? Interview definition. All right. Arouse the curiosity or interest of, fascinate, make secret plans to do something illicit. Do not say pronounce it, Salakia. Detrimental to someone. So pretty much to make plans that pretty much will be a complete surprise to the people. Right, for example, CBDC, right? That's a huge surprise to a lot of people. CBDC is a surprise to the people. All right, we're seeing national. Is it national or international? International interviews. So we're seeing international interviews, international schemes, right? From this damn devil Esau Edom. All right, national interviews. Okay, so let's go back. All right, I want to make sure y'all see that. All right. There will be earthquakes, national rebellions, international interviews, unstable leaders, and confused rulers. And we have a lot of that among us right now, especially in America. Joe Biden's clone or whoever the hell that dude is, that's supposed to be Joe Biden, he's confused, he's unstable. And everyone else here in America that's supposed to be the face of the people, confused too. Look at America's military today, the Air Force, Space Force, the military in general. The leaders are confused, man. All right, they're unstable. This whole nation is America. Now check this out. When you see that these things are happening, right? When you see these things happening, you will know that they are what YAHAWASHI has spoken about since the beginning of creation. So these are the signs that's coming to pass that YAHAWASHI is showing his people, is showing his people, his servants, the prophets, that he's about to kill a lot of people. All right. So let's move forward to 2nd Notice chapter 15 now. All right, 2nd Notice chapter 15 verses 14 through 19 KJV. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, right? So the world and the people in it are doomed. The people of this world is doomed. All right. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. So you can think of civil wars, race wars, riot wars, just wars upon, between the nations, between people. Okay, modern day swords and guns, right? All right, but don't be surprised you start seeing people out there with actual swords going at it, killing each other, man. All right. Let's see. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. And what's that war that's very near that will bring their destruction? Is what? World War III, race wars, riot wars, just war all over the place, man. All right. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, rioting. You saw in the clip, you saw the rioting going on, people destroying the public, let's say, destroying bus stops, burning up things, right? Rioting. You even had the riot squad that was out there, and people was fighting against them, man. One of the dudes threw a punch. Literally, he threw a punch at one of the riot squad members on the helmet. It's stupid as hell. You're trying to punch someone with a helmet on, with a full face mask on, but But you see it, man. You got the rioting happening. You got the rebellion going on. Rebellion, insurrection, disobedience, and resistance among men. Right? So there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings or princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So the people are taking upon themselves and ignoring the legitimate government, those supposed to be in power. They're rioting against them. They're rebelling against the kings and princes. Right? For an example, the kings can be like the presidents of the president of the country, the king of the nation. A face that represents, let's say, the governor of the state of Texas, the governor of the state of this place, the governor of this city and this county, the princes, cops, police officers, deputies, like the sheriffs, patrol officers, those who are supposed to enforce Esau's laws. The people are what? Rioting against these individuals. They're going against them. This sedition among them, right? The G&T goes into, let's see, the war that will bring their destruction is very near. Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. A nation is a people for the place, right? So you're going to have a group of people that's going to be arming themselves with deadly instruments, weapons, or some form of instrument of death, start to rise against each other, fight against each other to the death. That's how bad it's about to get. Even towards the kings and princes, their legitimate government, there will be great political turmoil. I've seen a lot of political turmoil taking place throughout the world, with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. So that's the people, that's the seditions among men, invading one another and not regarding the kings and princes. They're ignoring the legitimate government, okay? And they're trying to overpower them pretty much. All right. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. It shall not be able. So people are going to lose that free access to be able to go to cities, right? It says here in the G&T, there will be no longer free, there will no longer be free access to the cities. Why? Because of total chaos, martial law, right? Martial law. Martial goes into warlike, so warlike law, okay? And the brothers who has combat experience, being overseas, you brothers understand what it's like when we overseas, we pretty much use that. We use martial law. We use warlike law while we're out when overseas. And what comes with martial law, if someone is considered to be as like an actual threat, if you got reports that this individual or these individuals are considered as a high threat, if you see them, kill them on sight. All right. Or let's say, or sometimes we'll just let off a warning shot first, right? A warning shot. And if they still don't comply, then hey, boom, hey, take them out. All right. But that's going to be part of Esau's great wrath. When he comes down with that great wrath, martial law, he's going to have draconian laws, very harsh laws. And one of those things that's going to be very harsh on the people is what? No more free access to cities, so just get up and go and travel. All right, that's how bad the lockdown is going to be. That's coming real soon. It's going to be very, very draconian, very harsh, very strict, man. You're going to lose that access to be able to travel. There's so many reasons I can possibly come up with of why you won't be able to travel, but the point will come where you won't be able to just freely get up and go, because that luxury is taken away from you through YAHAWASHI using this damn devil, Esau Edom, to take it away from you. Okay? All right? Or for whatever other reasons, man. All right? For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. Right? Cities are going to be troubled, going through it, looking bad, the people in it. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So how much more you women are going to be afraid in those times, right? Shalom, Balak, YAHAWAH He Is, to the brother Enum. Shalom, YAHAWAH He Is. All right. It says, there will no longer be free access to the cities because the struggle for power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live. So you best believe when there's a societal collapse here in America, no more laws. Pretty much the people feel like they can literally get away with shit now, but really you can't, because the eyes of our power is beholding everything. But people are going to have that type of mindset when society crashes. No more 911, no more police officers, no one of anyone enforcing laws the way how it is right now, right? People are going to have that type of thought in their mind, like, well, shit, I can pretty much get away with anything now. Okay? And people are going to try to take advantage of this opportunity to pretty much try to gain power upon those who are supposed to be in power. Okay? People houses are going to be destroyed. Okay? Invaded, robbed. Why? Because, your home is going to be the new Kroger's. It's going to be the new supermarket, man. People are going to be robbing other people. Okay? All right. 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Why? Because iniquity shall abound and love of man shall wax cold. Matthew 24:12. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and 8. A time of we're in a time of hate, a time of war. Okay, we ain't in a time of love. Okay, all right. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. Guns, right? Claymores, C4s, you name it. Javelin. War weapons. Okay. And spoil you their goods because of the lack of bread, right? Famine, hunger, starvation, and for great tribulation and for great suffering. This is why the people are also going to be invading one another, not regarding kings and princes and people rising up against each other and just total chaos, because famine, people are hungry, they're starving, and they're miserable. They're going through stuff. Okay? All right? And they don't have this wisdom and knowledge to keep them stable in those times. Okay? All right? Let me get let's see, 1, 2, 3. There are 3 more. Let me get it up here very quick. Let me share my screen with y'all. Because mind you, eventually all of this is going to lead to civil war as well too, man. This sedition among men is going to eventually get very deadly. I'm going to say deadly. Deadly force is going to be used soon upon the people, man. All right. Let's see. Let me get this one. All right, so the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 25, King James Version. And there shall be signs in the sun. Right, for an example, a lunar eclipse, lunar eclipse. Signs in the sun in general. And in the moon, we had several blood moons. I think 3 blood moons within last year, if I'm not mistaken. We had, I think, one during the Passover, during the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And in the stars. So there's many signs that were seen in the heavens, in the skies, okay? And upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Let's get that in the what was the other one I was looking at? I think it's the NLT, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check. Bear with me. Whenever this thing uploads. Let's see. So the New Living Translation, it goes into, and there will be strange signs in the sun, moon, and stars, right? Strange, right? Something that's I guess pretty much having a hard time understanding something. So the signs that a lot of people are seeing in the sun, the moon, the stars, and the skies is strange unto them. They're dismayed by it. All right, they don't understand what they're looking at. All right, but the elect do. The elect understand that these are signs that's coming to pass, that Yahawah Yahawashi is visiting the world. He's judging the world. Okay, and he's about to visit physically. Right, Yahawashi is about to come back physically. And then there's also signs on the earth. And what's one of those signs that's taking place on earth? Right, the nations will be in turmoil, perplexed by the roaring seas and strange tides. Right, turmoil. Right, it says a state of great disturbance, confusion, or uncertainty. So there's a lot of confusion going on upon the nations, man, because they don't understand why the government is doing what they're doing to them. Okay, they don't understand why they're seeing such signs in the heavens, signs on the earth. Why these nations are thinking about going, if they haven't gone yet, to CBDC. Why these stores are closing down, people being laid off, famine, World War III being talked about a lot. All right. They said perplex, right? Perplex. Right? Perplex is going to say that quick. Perplex. All right. Of something complicated or unaccountable. Cause someone to feel completely baffled. Okay. Complicated or confused. So you got a lot of people who are confused. Okay. There's more I got down here somewhere. Let's see. To make unable to grasp something clearly or to think logically and decisively about something. Of course, her attitude perplexes. Of course, her attitude, right? So we're seeing that upon a lot of people on the nations, man. They just not able to grasp, to think clearly and think logically, decisively about what's going on in the world, man, because they don't have the HAQADASH. They don't have the spirit of YAHAWASHI or HAQADASH to understand why everything is happening on earth. Okay, all right. They don't understand that we're in the process of one kingdom falling while another's being built up, being risen. Right, Esau is the end of the world. Jacob's the beginning that follows. Right there. Esau's rulership is the end of this era, the age of wickedness, and Jacob, right, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, Native American Indians, speckled birds, Israelites, men we are next to rule. We are ruled to next, and our rulership will be a forever era, a forever age of righteousness. Okay? Let's move forward now to let's see. Mark, yeah, because Mark actually goes into civil war. I guess he mentions it in the NOT, right? But let me get into KJV first. And if the book of Mark, chapter 3, verse 24, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, right, civil war, that kingdom cannot stand. So a kingdom that's divided by civil war is doomed, pretty much, right? The NOT goes into that. Here we go. All right, the NOT say a kingdom divided by civil wars will collapse. Okay, right now we're pretty much seeing it on a small scale in France and similar nations that's going through something similar. Right, this sedition among men. The sedition among men is going to literally lead to civil war, man. It's going to get very carnal, very bloody soon. All right, and what's taking place over there or at these other nations, it will happen in America, but worse. At some point, low ones is sooner than we think. All right, let me get my last one. Isaiah 19:2 KJV. All right, let me get that in the Bible Gateway first. All right, so the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, verse 2, KJV, and then in the GNT. I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. So here in America, you're going to have a lot of Babylonians against the Babylonians, Americans against Americans. Okay, people, the same people going against each other, Americans against Americans. Okay, and they shall fight, everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. All right, it's just war all over the damn place. All right, civil war here too in America. All right, let's get the NOT. I'm gonna close out. I'm gonna play the video and then literally close out. All right, so the New Living Translation. I will make Egyptians fight against Egyptians. Like I would make Egyptian fight against Egyptian, brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, city against city, province against province. So like I think it was the G&T version instead. Yo, G&T. It says I would stir up civil war in Egypt, something along that line. Okay, Khan. The Lord Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI says, I will stir up civil war in Egypt. Right, stir. Pretty much like inciting, starting a fight, pretty much. Let's see. All right. Arouse strong feeling in someone, move or excite. So our power is put in the spirit here in America to be, well, he will, but especially to other nations, but it will happen where our power is going to really put that spirit to stir up, to move, to cause the people to have a strong feeling of or excitement of what? Of pretty much just doing what you deeply always desire to do. And what's one of the many things that a lot of people deeply desire in America, believe it or not? When you was a kid, you thought about this from time to time. When you was in high school, you thought about it from time to time. When you finished high school or you became an adult, you thought about it from time to time, like, yo, what if it was a civil war in America? What if it was just all hell breaking loose in America? Man, hopefully, man, right? Well, guess what? You getting it. You about to get it. All right? You about to get it. All right? And people are going to be excited about that. Believe it or not, these wicked people are going to be really excited about civil war, man. All right? And we're excited too. All right? We just excited because we understand that the kingdom is coming soon. All right? In order for the kingdom to come, man, this place got to be in turmoil, man. All hell got to break loose. This shit got to shut down before we can move on to that phase, man. All right, the Lord Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI says, I will stir up civil war in Egypt, which is America today, and turn brother against brother and neighbor against neighbor. Borrowed cities will fight each other, and borrowed kings will struggle for power. All right, so when society collapses, man, you gonna see this. You gonna see something. We all gonna see something. Lord willing, we do see it. We just don't get hit up, caught up out there like that. You feel me? Lord willing, we don't. But you're gonna see civil war in America soon, man. All right, I'm gonna play that clip right quick that I got from YouTube from the brother. Then I'm gonna close out. All right. Let me play it again. All right, you seen it, man. All right, it's only going to get worse. Lord willing, does get worse like much sooner. And trickles way over here in America. So the water for tuning in. The water tuning in. RAWCHAA lesson was edifying. I'm going to close out by giving much due all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QaDash, call Halalyam La, NAWA, NAWA, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QaDash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of Great Millstone, and much due respect to the sincere Akim who labor works. Shalom to you believers, to the Akim YAHAWAH, which will be your brothers and few amount of sincere sisters who do subscribe to this truth. DTA, Death to America, Abad, Babal, Destroy Babylon, Confusion with America, soon. Abba Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BABAKWASHA, SHAMAYAM, NASHAM, AHBA, HARAGYAM, MASHAPAYAM, Halalyam, YAHAWAHYAM, NAWA, BABAKWASHA, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI,